that I always have to end this thing. We used to have a speaker, or the first year we had a speaker, and we closed out, and it was his final service, and we found out a lot of people kind of just, they got their mind, it's just natural, it's not wrong, it's just natural to have your mind on leaving. And anyway, then I decided, okay, I'll just do a wrap-up, and I'll tell stories, and maybe I'll hold their attention. I am going to share. I'm going to share at the end when we, get to that part. But I want to be able to just talk about some things and recognize some folks as well. So we've already started. There's one, check that off the list, recognize our band. Sometimes I get going. It's not that I don't appreciate folks. You just get to going, and then next thing you know, man, I should have said something about them, because, the Bible says give honor to who honor is due, and we don't have time to honor everybody, but at the same time, I want to know that we do appreciate, because a lot of work goes into doing something like this. And so we recognize the band and the worship band and their part. And hold on a minute, let me get through this. But, I know I've been in Teen Challenge for a long time. I'm somewhat they might call a dinosaur. Let me get my phone out so I can see what time it is, because I used to be able to see that clock back there. Isn't it sad? Now I can't focus on it. I know, but that ain't going to do no good. You ain't going to have to call it out every time I want to look up. I'm saying I used to be able to speak and look up there and kind of keep up my time. Part of getting old, I can't even focus on that thing anymore. And so anyway, I'll have it right here in front of me. And Stink's getting old sometimes with some different things, but anyway. Here we go. Amen, right. I like the part about getting closer to being with Jesus. The inconvenience of always having to put on glasses and stuff, not so much. But anyway, we'll keep up with the time. But there, and this is our last time together for this summit. This is our 5th one, and we're hoping we're getting better at this. I've heard some comments that, hey, best one yet from some staff that have been here, and that's what we want. And we want to try to always, be able to make it a great experience in every aspect. Obviously, the services, you book good with our worship band and book a good speaker, you always know that's going to be good, but we don't want to have some good fun and not be bored and keep things hopping and that kind of thing, and just have some good, clean fun. But you guys in the program, like I said, I directed a center. I was an executive director of a Teen Challenge Center for 15 years. So I know, being around students in the program, the residents of the program, they just love to get off campus, You never have to, if there's some kind of job or something off campus, you never have to run. You'll always have people volunteer or whatever for the most part, because, hey, you're right there in that program. That's natural. And so I'm sure coming here, most of you, hey, let's get off the campus for a few days. Great deal. Hey, we don't have to work. We don't have to school so much. We're going to have church. We're going to have worship. We're going to have fun and games. And so we hope you look forward to that. We hope it's been a good experience. Now let's get to the staff. They have their own bed and their own place, their own home and place they call home, their own comfortable bed. And I know that it's a big, not inconvenience, but they're leaving their comfort and their routine and all that and coming here and being a part of that and staying in dorms with you guys. And I just want to say, as the president of Teen Challenge of Oklahoma, that I appreciate you guys, your attitudes, and coming and being with us, because I know it's a mild hardship. Hopefully it hadn't been more than a mild hardship and a little inconvenience of comfort to be a part of this. And so I'm praying that these guys in the program and girls in the program got such a touch of God in their life here that it's going to be worth the effort that you made here to be here, because they're going to be so good and they're not going to be getting into trouble. And because you sacrificed some of your comfort to be here, it's going to be some easy days ahead of you without having to deal with the normal, typical Teen Challenge stuff. Come on. So That's what I'm believing about all of you that are residents and students in the program. But I also want right now, I want the staff to stay seated. And I want, if you're in the program, that you stand and give them a round of applause and great appreciation for being here. From the bottom of our heart, I'm humbled that you're here and your great attitudes and all that. I mean, it's humbling to see that. And that's as much as these speakers and all this going on, that's as much and as important to the success and to the future, to the outcome, and to what's being planted in everyone here and what's happening in everyone. Just being here, your part here is just as important part of these summits. And we're going to do this again and next year. And so we plan on, long as the Lord enables us to help us to do this, we want to do this again, and we want to make it better and better. And also want to get this part, do this first, as we kind of drill down and maybe get a little bit more serious and a little bit more serious. But again, like I said, a lot of work goes into this. And the games, just imagine if after the service and after we ate, we had lunch, and then we said, hey guys, afternoon is free, go have fun. Well, there would probably be some chaos out there. And this is a big property, and some of you would just decide to take a walk, and we'd have people scattered all over the place. We'd have some people bored stiff. We'd have some making the best of it and playing games and all. It'd be just a hodgepodge there of different things going on. But we don't want it to be like that. We want, we want it to be orderly, and because I think we have more fun that way. And so a lot of work and planning goes into that. And this is several years in a row now. The person that has organized all of that, her name is Rachel. So I want to know, where's Rachel? Come on up. We appreciate you. I mean, she's had a tough few weeks, but I know as well there's been some people that has helped her. Some of the staff have jumped in there, and Lolan helped with the organization, and I was making the round yesterday. We won't talk about what went up on that screen a while ago. Maybe we will talk about it later. But I was having some fun out there and watching staff, the referees, and keeping the order and all that. But I also thought, too, before I hand it over to Rachel and she recognizes some of the winners, I did want to bring appreciation to just call a few people out by name. A few, that's Elsie, Daisy, Tank, Big Mac, and Clarabelle. They're not here, but those are the cows that that sacrifice their tongues for the tongue play. Definitely wouldn't have said that at the beginning. None of you would have played at the top.
I also hope you enjoyed the tacos the other day, by the way. Sorry, I wasn't quite sure if this was going to be my timing or not, so I didn't quite have my stuff. Did you find my phone? Zach? Yeah, sorry. I was afraid the rewards would melt before in the rain. All right, so I do hope you guys enjoyed the... Thank you, sir. I do hope you guys enjoyed. By the way, give Zach a round of applause. We had some... We had some schedule difficulties, and Mr. Lolan and I were on the phone. I was trying to possibly drive and get it fixed out, but I ended up making calls, and Zach's like, I got the schedule fixed. Okay. And then Lolan would call and say, hey, what about this spot on the schedule? And I'd say, hey, Zach, So we finally got it worked out. I hope you guys enjoyed the spider soccer and all that. But I want to, first, before I do this, I want to say thank you to my refs. I had some amazing women and men who stepped up. Thank you. They stepped up and were willing to help out, and quite frankly, I'm not going to name any names, Wes, but make up rules as they went along. But it can be hard trying to control. I had a director that said working with teen challenge is like herding cats, and so sometimes out there, when we're out there on the field, it feels like we're herding cats. So. Thank you to my refs. Thank you for those who listened to what the refs were saying and stuff. But I want to go ahead and call out the winning teams. We work for Teen Challenge, so there's only so much you can do. So this year, our rewards are going to be championship rings. And who couldn't use $100,000? Right? So Miss Erica, who is our amazing administrative assistant, is going to help me pass these out and make sure that our teams get their $100,000 and their championship rings. All right, so the competition with the women, it came down to, I think Zach said it came down to like Bible quiz, which is absolutely what I love to hear. Yes, I'm competitive, but I mean, I'm also competitive at learning the word, because it is our sword. It's our only offensive weapon, right? So the word of God is our sword. So I loved it when he said it came down with the Bible quiz. So I'm going to start with third place. Finishing off in third place this year was pink. By the way, the candy's only for the first place team, sorry. Yellow and aqua tied with 19 points. And then receiving first place and coming up and getting their $100,000 and ring pops is the white team. Are these open? Go ahead and come up and get your candy. Please don't put the trash on the floor. Make sure it gets in the trash can. All right. And with the guys, there could have been more points, but there wasn't as many as there could have been. So, gentlemen, I'm going to start with third. Third place was blue. Second place, camo. And receiving first place with 31 points, red. I truly hope everybody had a great time with the games, and I hope you all learned and used what you learned in the program with this. Pastor Wayne?
That didn't take 10 minutes. All right. Okay. I guess This is awards day. I got, not awards, but I got some certificates here for some folks that have worked hard over the past year. And I like to do this at the summit every year now. So I'll hold on to a few of them until then. And it's, as you know, and most of you do, but I'll remind you just in case you're new and you don't know, that we love it when someone finishes the program and then they say, hey, I would like to give back. I would like to continue to stay on here for another season, another year or two, or maybe in the back of your mind you're thinking about, hey, maybe this is what God is calling me to. And so I want to go ahead and stay on and pursue full-time a teen challenge or a teen challenge type of ministry as well. And for a long time, almost the entire time until a few years ago, you know, each particular center was doing some type of training for that. And anyway, I had a vision or idea of some kind of school, and but not a school that people would have to go off to, because in Teen Challenge history and in their roots, there have been several Teen Challenge ministry institutes across the country. As a matter of fact, Pastor Jose went through one of those when he finished and he graduated the program. He went through one of those, and they were good. They were awesome. But the problem, they're hard to fund, and then people leave for another year and then come back. And so anyway, and of course things change, and now we have this thing called the internet and all the things we can do more and more and more on the internet. So there's no Teen Challenge Ministry Institutes left. There's just one left in the country now, and it was actually the original one, and it's out in Southern California. And but we wanted something like that, but not a building, not bricks and mortar building and funding and a big budget and that kind of thing, because it's hard enough raising money for all the other stuff that we do. And so we decided to develop a online school. And we did about 3 or 4 years ago, and we're constantly tweaking and hopefully making it better. And we didn't want it just to be burdensome, because people would begin to do this Teen Challenge Leadership Institute as well as work in an entry-level position in their particular Teen Challenge Center. We needed commitment from program managers and executive directors that make sure they've got some time to work on their studies, and hopefully as they're learning and growing, they're going to be better, they're going to be grounded, they're going to be learning more and accomplishing more, and so it'll be good for everyone. And so it's working. Everybody's all in. All the directors, everybody, program managers especially, are all in on this. And we try to make it interactive. There's question of the day and different things like that. And not just burdensome bunch of homework and as well. And challenging, but yet not just overwhelming. And so I think it's pretty good. And we're always talking about how to make it better. But since we started, I think about 3 years ago now, I've personally handed out every certificate. Now, sometimes somebody might graduate and they don't get their certificate for 6 weeks or something, to fit it in the schedules and different things like that. And a couple of these men did finish, and I held it on purpose till today, and then we have one that just recently finished. But September graduate, first one from Sunrise, Seth Westbrook. There you go. Let's get a picture. We love you, Seth. I want to ask you a question. All right, I got a question for you, Seth. Of course, you fit right in Teen Challenge. You got a beard and tattoos and that kind of stuff. And that's part of the prerequisite for working down there. And what was your favorite course?
Probably discovering your God-given gifts.
Okay, great. And so what's your job right now down there?
I'm just an intern.
But do you have a specific job you do? Or you just
I'm like a marathon, man. I kind of go. I do.
Well, that's what interns are supposed to be, not just locked into one. And then to move around and do that. So you plan on sticking around a while?
I'm going to be around for a while.
You gonna grow that beard a little longer?
We'll see.
All right. Also a September grad, Chad Pennington from Sunrise. Okay, we got. All right, Chad, what was your favorite course out of all those?
To be honest, I really got a lot out of all of them, especially the discussions. I thought it was really cool the way it was set up.
Those online discussions and questions for the day, that kind of stuff. You like that? Great. You plan on sticking around a while?
Till God tells me to leave.
What's your job?
I run the remodel department.
I'll say again. I had it to my face.
I run the remodel department.
All right, let's see. And we went the most recent grad for October, Billy Bond. All right. So what was your favorite course?
Lead Like Jesus.
Lead Like Jesus. That is the, man, that is it. That's the best book on servant leadership, because that's what it's all about. Leadership, servant leadership. And and that book's been around forever, and they've even revised it and things like that. I just recently read it again I actually thought I had read it, and I got to looking, and it's been around so long, I just assumed I'd read it. I'd read so many books on leadership, and yeah. So I read that about a year ago. And so great. Yeah, Lead Like Jesus, servant leadership. So you're going to be sticking around a while?
I'm actually trying out for a church in Terrell, Oklahoma, Terrell First Assembly on November 10th as the pastor.
Oh, going to go on and be in a pastor. All right. You know, the beauty of Teen Challenge is a unique culture, and it's hard sometimes for an outsider to even understand. Sometimes pastors, as much as they love us, they don't really understand the culture until you're just immersed into it or come up through it. So the best leaders in Teen Challenge basically are the homegrown and the coming up, and that is such a unique thing, because the people that come through the doors needing help, they get that help, they get that training, and then fast forward, they're now on the other side of the desk helping people that come through the doors. And this is happening all over the world. If we were able to somehow or another put a live shot of a Teen Challenge in Togo, Africa, Ghana, Africa, you'd see people working with students that were themselves a former student in the program. Siberia, I've been to these places, and I meet them. I've done training there, as many of our other staff. And there's Teen Challenge directors, there's Teen Challenge staff. They came through the program needing help. And deaf people had given up on them. And then they went through the program, they went through training, and now they're in a position of giving back. And I've just seen the dynamic more and more, and throughout all the years. And that's that. We do have people that come in. I never went through the program, so it does happen. People come in from the outside and make well. But I will say this, indirectly, I was witnessed to on the street by some Teen Challenge workers in good old Memphis, Tennessee, North Memphis, and and that really pricked my heart. And then when I went to church that they told me to go to, there was Teen Challenge guys prayed with me. So I have a little bit of root, but I never went through the program. But most of the staff around the world, a majority of the staff went through the program. I know in our adolescent programs, it's a little different, the staff there, but we have graduates that are, and then we have, probably a few more coming in from a non-Teen Challenge type of background. But that's the beauty of discipleship. That's the ultimate goal of discipleship. the disciple now becomes the discipler. So I can remember when Freedom House started. Pastor Karen is here, and there was an independent program, and it was just like a flop house, and they gave it to us. And I told Karen, and she didn't have a Teen Challenge background either. And I told her this because I'd seen it. I said, we're going to come in here, we're going to make structure out of this place and set up some rules. And what's going to happen is every one of these students in this program now are going to quit. And people are going to wonder, what's wrong with us? Now, that wasn't prophetical speaking. That was just, I'd seen it. And so it was a flop house. It was good intention, but it just wasn't any rules or order trying to be run by volunteers. And these ladies that were in the program, a lot of them were right out of jail, and they were kind of doing their own thing. We came in, we put in the Teen Challenge structures, the Teen Challenge rules, and guess what? Everybody left. And the staff that wanted to stay around, there was a couple of staff that wanted to keep helping, and guess what? They left too. And guess what? They said bad things about us. I mean, they thought we were so mean and so cruel and so strict, all because we put structure into the program. And I even had some pastors saying, what's going on over there? And then someone came and visited, and there was one lady in the program. One. Well, it was actually, I had to be true confessions. It was my mother-in-law that was wanting to get involved she's there in the Tulsa community, and she was kind of wanting to get her business involved, and she went over there, and then I said, how did it happen? She goes, do you realize there's only one woman in that program? That's what my mother-in-law was telling me. I said, well, we're just getting started out. She didn't even want to get involved in it after that. She hadn't to this day. She comes to banquets, Jose's banquets. She brings a couple of tablefuls to Jose's banquet. She's gotten involved a little bit, but she was just shocked. But we were just starting out. Ladies would come in and they'd leave, and finally I told Karen, I said, you're going to get that core, and once you get a core of those sticking, then you're going to get some positive momentum, and then we're going to build. And then staff would come and go, and I said, and when we start getting graduates, we're going to start getting long-term staff. And that's exactly what goes on in Freedom House. And so that's why it's so important, this training that we do after you finish the program, we want to stay. Everybody's working on the same thing. It kind of works a cycle around. And so we're happy about that. And then after that, local executive directors and program managers, they can come up with their next phase of training that is unique to how they want to do it. Some of you guys I know and are going on and getting your credentials with the Assemblies of God denomination and all that. And so we all do the same. The first year we all do the same. And then the second year, if people stay on, then that's up to the local center. So that's kind of how we've got it planned. And that was just something, a dream we had to see it coming to pass. Raising up staff. Before we get going, I always do this too. We'll take a few minutes to do it. I am going to share. I'll structure my message to how long we have. But I want to take a few minutes. I know some people have really been touched here and to give testimony. And so I would like to know if someone you hear, one of you young ladies at New Life House, we'll start with you. If God did something special in your life here during this summit, and you wanted to come up here and tell us about it for a minute or two. Anybody? Oh, here comes somebody. Come on up. Whoop. She jumped up first. Sorry, you got first one to jump up. Let's come over here. Let's get in the middle. What's your name?
Jasmine.
Jasmine. Okay, I'm going to give you this mic.
Okay.
And so you go ahead and tell what the Lord did for you while you're here.
One thing he shared with me was to just trust him with all things in my life. I've gone through a lot of things in my life that I shouldn't have gone through. And I just felt really broken. And I think it was our second night here. And he just revealed to me, you just got to trust me. And I've just been trusting him ever since. And I have been healing.
Yeah, thank you. How about Brush Creek? One of you boys want to jump up? First one up. All right. Well, there's two or three of them. I'm gonna let Miss David, Pastor David. Which one? There's the two of them popped up. We can only do one. All right. Sorry, if we had time, we'd do everybody. Yeah, it's a lot of people, but they all love you, man. They all love you. They have problems too. What's your name?
I'm Chase.
Chase. Here it is.
So this weekend was.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you need it.
Oh,
Yeah, they need to be able to
all
hear
right.
this.
So this weekend was kind of just a whole new experience for me. I didn't really come into a religious family, none of that, and I've recently come into a relationship with God, but it wasn't like full, you know. It was there but not there. I was just going through the motions, like the song says. But this weekend, just that first service, something hit me. Like, just I felt pushed to change, and every message that they spoke to me, it just hit me. Like, I felt like fire, and I wanted to bring that into other people's lives, and I wanted to change, and I wanted to act on the message instead of just listen to it and, oh, well, that's nice, and then never think about it again, you know.
All right. Good deal. Good job. Our newest program, we got ladies at Green Country now. So is there the lady from Green Country that wants to give testimony? Right there. Hannah went first. As we said, we're maxing out that building. We got a women's program and a men's program in that, and we're believing God that, you know, we'll get another building here in the near future and room for everybody to grow. What's your name?
My name is Malia.
Malia. Take the mic. Tell us what the Lord did.
Just coming to Teen Challenge in general has given me a second chance at freedom. Me coming to Summit personally, it just really stirred my heart to really want to change my ways and just keep seeking the Lord and stop living by what I want and live by what God wants, because for so many years, you know, I was in church, but I was just going through the motions, you know. I mean, I lived with pastors' parents, people in the church, and, you know, I never changed. And, you know, coming here, you know, I felt the love of God that I always wanted to feel. So I just wanted to share that God has really just led me to change my ways and serve Him for the rest of my life.
Thank you. Well, let's keep it in the Green Country family. We got a man there. There you go. You popped up. I got to observe this man a little bit. He's always ready to talk a little bit, right? You're always ready. What's your name?
My name is Austin.
Austin.
Yeah.
There you go. I'm right here. I get that back. You get going too long.
All right, you can have it back.
No.
All right. Well, so I'm in Green Country, like you said, and just coming here. I grew up in a church background, and Pastor Jose, he loves to talk to us any moment he has. He likes to tell us little snippets about, like, preaching to us and letting us know what's good and what's not, you know. And yesterday he was talking, and he was saying how people got up and raised their hands in class, you know, when we were like in the first or second grade, like career day or whatever. People was like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And people raise their hand, doctors, lawyers, and, you know, dentists and all that. Well, when I was a kid, I raised my hand to be a pastor. And over the years, I had people come up to me and tell me that before I came here. And really, God this week has revealed my dreams back to me. He gave me my dreams back. He, like I said, he rebuilt my memory and my dreams, and he just put them back to my heart so I could live that out, and I can just be a man that God wanted me to be. So give it back to Pastor Wayne.
All right, thank you. Well, we just heard Billy things work out, it's going to be a pastor. There are Sunrise graduates pastoring churches right now, and Teen Challenge graduates all over pastoring churches. So, you know, you don't need to be a pastor if you're not called, though.